Well, hello there. We are live on the YouTube. Amazing. Let's just check the basics. Can you let me know in the comments if you can hear me? I guess I should also type that in. The scariest moment of the whole evening. Let me just check. I think I have unmuted, so at least that is correct. David says, I hear you. Thank you very much. David, thanks for your kind comment. Very nice indeed. Boris, thank you to you as well. So where are you guys coming in from? How many people? Oh, we've got a fair few. Fantastic. Where in the world are you? I'll tell you where I am in a minute. Janja, I'm going to say you. I bet I've just mangled your name, and I'm really sorry about that. Thank you very much for saying congratulations. That's very much appreciated. Heather coming in from California. Oh, you guys are getting weather at the moment. Wow. Marta from Italy. Welcome. Bienvenuto or something like that. My goodness. Michael, great to hear you. Yes, South London. Shout out to the South London Massive. Trevor, New Zealand. Good Lord. What time is it in New Zealand? Isn't it? Is it like 5 a.m. or something? Welcome. You win so far, I think. And CT says too early to be creative. Yeah, it kind of feels like that to me all the time. Oh, 7 a.m. Trevor. Okay. That's still massively impressive. Now, okay, so have we got the basics out of the way? It feels like you can hear me. I think you can see me. I better let you know that I've got the British Standard cup of tea, and you're joining me here in the shed at the bottom of the garden. I do want. We will be doing a little bit of running down memory lane a little bit. And then I do have something for you, and I want to be I want to be very respectful of your time. I'm going to try and run through the bit that I want to get through, and hopefully have you out of here again in around about an hour. We'll kind of see how I'll be flexible on that. If there are questions along the way, that might stretch a little bit. But yeah, certainly I think this is going to be a shorter one rather than a longer one. For those of you who, because I wonder if there's anyone here. Usually you get people where it's not early in the morning, it's very, very late in the day. So you people are usually very keen for me to cut these things and get out early. Becky coming in from Surrey. Oh yeah, not too far away, compared to New Zealand. Let me see now. I think I had a slide in mind. I'm going to disappear, but I'll be back in just a second. All right. Okay, let's kill that. That doesn't apply anymore. Yeah. Okay, this is kind of what we're going to be. There's a lot of 7s in today, so see if you can spot them. Probably guess what most of those refer to. Now, while we wait, I'm just going to leave a couple of minutes for other people to join. People tend to rush in at about 5 minutes past. Not really sure why that is, although I seem to do that too. As I said before, you have joined me at the shed at the bottom of the garden. This shed at the bottom of the garden, this is slightly dated. It's a good bit more weathered than that, I'm noticing. I know, and it looks like I've painted it since I took that photograph. But yeah, so that's where you're seeing me, in the shed at the bottom of the garden. In the shed, what I built. Quite proud of the shed that I built. Yeah, maybe I might save the story of the shed till another day. But yeah, the point of me putting the picture of the shed on your screen right now is that I do spend rather a lot of time in my shed at the bottom of the garden, probably more time than is healthy, and but I have ventured out once or twice, actually for a very specific reason, to go and do a training. Actually, I've done, I think the two that come to mind are I did an in-house training for a company in London. Oh, there's a picture of London. And I also did a kind of a longer term thing where I sat in with an Agile team and kind of helped them along over a period of weeks or months. And I have 2 questions for you based on that. Chances are somebody, you don't need to fess up at this point, but either someone here who's with us live or maybe someone who's catching the replay who does in-company trainings, I'd really like to talk to you about how that whole thing works. So yeah, best place to get me would be on LinkedIn. I think I'm quite easy to find. Go to LinkedIn, Gary Strawn or Development That Pays. I think both of them will find me. So yeah, just wanted to pick your brains a bit about how you go about doing that. And and I suppose, second question, if there is a need inside your company right now and I can help, I can be in person if you live within not too far of this place, or of course in these days, remote also seems to work, so maybe able to do something remote. Good. That was my time filler. Who else has dropped in? Edgar from Mexico City. Wow, okay, that's a long way away. Paul, good to see you. It has been a while. Nice to see you in from Toronto. Yeah, okay, good. I'm sure I've got another slide. I think maybe. Yeah, we've ticked to 5 past. So yeah, let's talk about a little bit quickly. Talk about the 7.5 years of development that pays. I think it's 7.5 or getting around to 3/4 since I first launched a video onto YouTube. I think you all know what the 7,000 is, and you can probably guess what the percentage is. Well, maybe or maybe not. All right, a quick look back. Development that pays is a name that I've wrestled with. When I first came up with it, it made some sense. I was, at the time that I started Development That Pays, I was a developer, so that name kind of made sense to me. And I knew that I wanted to talk about something on YouTube, but I wasn't really sure what. Because I was a coder, I suppose the obvious thing would have been to talk about code, but I never thought I was any good at coding. So I thought I'd talk about something that was a little bit tangential. And I'm old for a coder. I think we can all agree on that. And that's kind of an indication that I sort of came to coding quite recent, in relatively recent. So I had a life that was before coding, and now I'm in my life that is coding. So I kind of had I was in a business role before that. So I felt that I appreciated, perhaps more than most coders, the importance of what we're doing is to make money. So that was sort of the angle. I thought I'll talk about not the coding aspect of code, but the business aspect of code. You know, we're making something that is supposed to delight a customer, all that kind of stuff. Delighted customers throw money. That was kind of where the name came from. But, those are the arrows I should have put on about 3 minutes ago. So at the beginning of Development That Pays, the YouTube channel, I talked about all kinds of things: test-driven development, behavior-driven development. I think there was one in there about internal rate of return. Can you believe? Less said about that one, the better. But where things really started to get interesting is when I started to talk about my experience at the BBC. My first Agile experience, where I arrived, and if you've seen the right videos, you probably already know this story. I arrived just in time to miss all the training. So it was clear there was kind of posters on the wall and things. So there were signs that training had been done. But yeah, as I said, I didn't get any, and because I was a goddamn, I call my role a goddamn contractor. So it's all one word. It sounds like it might be a cuss word, but it's not really. Goddamn contractor. Yeah, because I was one of those, I didn't get any training. I was just thrown in, and I had to kind of figure it out by, by observation. And I went from my kind of 3 steps were from, what is this? To, and I'm kind of fast forwarding quite a long way here, to, oh, okay, that's why we do what we do. That's why we stand up in the morning. That's why we do a retrospective from time to time. The pieces started to fall into place for me. And then came a major frustration, was that every time I think I have a slide that might explain this better. The trouble I was having was related to something that I have just this week discovered has a name. So l'esprit d'escalier, French speakers among you might be familiar with it, and actually some English people, because apparently this is a French term that is used in English for the predicament, that's a nice word, I like that. It's used for the predicament of thinking of the perfect reply too late. I wonder how many of you have had that experience of, someone, usually happens after an insult, where you think of the perfect response, but like 20 minutes later. I have to say, I don't know if there's a word for it in French or in any other language. I generally suffer from the opposite of this. I'm usually, to my greatly to my detriment, I'm usually a little bit too quick, meaning that I quite often respond so quickly that I haven't figured out that what's coming out of my mouth should never ever have come out of my mouth. And my punishment for this, to give you an example, is to wake up in the morning to see my wife looking at me in that way, and knowing that I'm probably going to be visiting a neighbor or writing a note to a neighbor. So yeah, l'esprit d'escalier, don't really have that. But I tell you where I had a version of it, and that was when I got to the point of, I made a right mess of my slides there. I forgot what the next one was. That always happens, by the way. So that's another of my traditions. I always, at some point, I forget what the next slide is. Anyway, the point of this is that into an Agile team, started to figure out what was going on and why. And then I wanted to kind of share this with my colleagues. We're doing this thing that seems crazy because ... And it never, ever seemed to come out right. I never, ever seemed to be able to put it down, put the right arguments in the right order for it to make any sense. And that's when I started to go through those kind of processes. got my ducks aligned, got my arguments in order, and put them on YouTube. That's really what I've been doing on YouTube for the past 7 and a chunk years. Trying to figure out a way of putting this, because it is complex. I mean, am I the only one that has trouble explaining the Agile stuff to other people? Surely I'm not the only one. Anyway, so that this is one of the thumbnails I've used for one of my videos talking about me and the BBC and the Scrum versus Kanban kind of battle that was playing out there. And really the way I look at it now is that I stumbled across a really cool way to explain, well, yes, Scrum and Kanban, but really kind of it's really explaining Agile, I think, through the lens of both Scrum and Kanban. And it seemed to work so well that I wrapped it all into a course. If you're new to Agile, I have something to say to you later. But one of those videos on Scrum versus Kanban, first published in 2017. Oh, look, there's a 7. and has now amassed 1.7 million views. Absolutely crazy. And not just because that also has a 7 in it. So yeah, that video, do you know what? I think it's true to say that had I not done those videos on Scrum and Kanban, we wouldn't be having this conversation now. Those videos have been very kind to me, and have have been a major contribution. I've been major contributor to that 70,000 total. Yeah, amazing. I'm going to talk about this in a moment, but I just want to say hello to a couple of people that I've seen pop in. Jose from Mexico, hello. Dan from the Netherlands, Nederland, welcome. I'm sure I can do better than that. I do know some Dutch. It's lost me. I've lost my Dutch. It always happens. Boris says, yeah, again, spotting. Well done for spotting the 7s. Benoit from Quebec. Benoit, I want French speaking, perhaps. Bienvenue if you are French speaking. Excellent. And A. Muller from Hamburg. Welcome. So yeah, welcome all. Thank you very much for being here. There are way more people on live than I thought there would be. That's fantastic. All right. I earlier said, I was talking earlier about the kind of this development, where development that pays, this not very good name came from. The way I thought about that name started to change maybe about, I think it was about a year after I got started, when I did something I hadn't done before. I asked the viewers of the channel I asked them all kinds of questions. One of the questions in particular was essentially, what bugs you? What annoys you? Not generally, but specifically about your Agile world. You know, what is the thing that gets right up your nerves? And right on your nerves or up your nose? I think I just mixed those two together. And I think those who've been with me for a while will know where I'm going next with it. But just back to this kind of name thing again. What that made me realize that I hadn't realized before was that, and it was. I had certainly had some points where I thought myself and other members of my team were perhaps not being treated fairly or treated well under certain circumstances. What really shocked me was to find that that was so widespread. So here it was. I kind of had gone through another series of realizations that this Agile thing should be a really good way of getting the pays part of this, so the get stuff done bit. It's brilliant for that. Not perfect for sure, but better than anything that I'd come across before. A fabulous way of focusing on value and iterating and inspect and adapt and all that kind of stuff. On paper, fantastic. In practice, a lot of those development teams, not just mine, I now knew it was not just mine, a lot of those development teams were kind of in pain. And yeah, I'm kind of still working through that, because it kind of means that I think part of my job here on the channel is not just the explanation of stuff. I think it's kind of becoming more and more about trying to escape from some of this pain that the development team. I've forgotten now what is the new term from the most recent version of the Scrum Guide. I'm sure someone will remind me. Do we talk about development team, or has it now just become? Yeah, I think you know the question I'm asking. Let me know in the comments if you know that. Oh, good. Also from the Netherlands. Welcome. Oh, that was weird. Sorry about that. My goodness. Okay. I think I've locked that. It shouldn't. Wow, that was dramatic. Oh, Malcolm. Oh, Malcolm. Great to see you. Just Scrum team, right? So the team, great. So that's what I'm talking about. The kind of the pain and suffering that apparently teams are, agile teams, let's call them even more generically, are suffering from. Yeah. Now, there's one particular thing that if you've been following me in recent times, you'll know I'm quite interested in. Does anyone guess what I'm referring to here? Generally. Give you a clue, starts with E. Oh, I'll just, while you're thinking about that, I'll just have a quick... Oh, I shouldn't really do this with the mic on. Hold on. I am back, and Benoit, thank you very much. Estimates and estimating and estimation, all of those words. Oh my goodness, Veronica, you're there as well. Yeah, oh God, I thought I'd locked that one as well. Okay, great. Yeah, so specifically for estimating, it's been a bit of a long journey. Because from that, it was like the end of 2017, the end of 2016, just running up to Christmas. I think that's when when I did the survey and found out that not only was the kind of general non-specific suffering going on, there was really specific suffering, and it started with an E. And at the time, I had nothing. I had no idea what to do about that. I mean, I'd done the right thing. I'd asked people, dear viewers of my channel, what would you like to see? The answer had come in, and in a way, for me anyway, it was a wrong answer. It's like, guys and gals, I'm not sure I can help you with that at all. But it did stay kind of in here, you know, like that. So I was always kind of keeping an eye out for kind of, I basically had to go, I Googled everything and watched every video I could find on it. And basically said, okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to start to build out a course. And I did start to build a course. And again, if you've seen recent videos, you'll know that course never got finished because I stumbled across and a couple of, well, heroes in my opinion. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Woody Zool is one of them. He is the person who first started talking about whether it might be possible not to estimate. He is the originator of the, I guess we'd call it a movement now, the no estimates movement. Although he didn't really want anyone to fight about it. He just wanted to talk about it. It was just a hashtag on Twitter, of course. You know, back when Twitter was, you know, just Twitter. So that was my aha moment, and I must say I was so excited because I felt I now had a breakthrough thanks to a little bit of Woody and a little bit of Vasco Duarte, someone else I founded around that time, also because of that hashtag. I kind of got carried away and I thought, finally I can help people. Finally I can do something that's a little bit more than here is how Scrum works step by step by step. And I built a whole course on it. Yeah. But I sort of felt that I missed a step because unless you bought the course, you probably, well, back then I don't think you'd be able to find a video on the channel that was anything to do with estimating, really. Maybe I think I might have done one or two on how to get better at, yeah, I did do one or two. To my shame, there is one or two that you might be able to find. And if you do find, will you let me know? Because I really try to turn all of those off. Anyway, another twist and turn in the development that pays history, I think can trace its origins back to the 11th of March 2020, which was a really bad date for the world. I think that's the day that that COVID-19 was classified as a pandemic. So yeah, a kind of a big date in many people's histories, I think. For me, I can't claim that it was a bad time. I mean, I was lucky enough to have, among other things, a shed at the bottom of the garden, and I took it kind of as a sign that, or an opportunity anyway, to really go all in with what I was doing. Not so much on the channel, but inside one of the communities that I built that came about as a result of the channel. And I kind of went at it pretty hard for a couple of years and didn't really leave this shed at the bottom of the garden, which is where I'm coming from you right now. I'm coming to you from right. I can't say that. I'm in that shed now, even though I'm. You can see my head here. Anyway, far too much time spent in the shed, and I don't want to use the word burnout, but I kind of just got sick of it. I'd overdone it, and I tried to give up a little bit, and when I stopped doing a small corner, I found that there was another piece I didn't want to do, and another piece, and so I disappeared for a while, for a period of months, I think. But that whole thing about estimating, it was still here. It still felt like unfinished business. And I didn't really make a big commitment. I just thought there's at least one more video that I want to do on the subject of estimating. And that's the one that I came back to do. Which wasn't a complete story, so I did another one. And I still wasn't there, so I did another one, and finally one that came out just about a week ago was finally, and it kind of, again to my shame, it took a year to get from the first of this series to the end. This is the one really that I came back to do. This is the one that finally says the things that had been kind of going on in my mind for all of those years, and I think all of these four together are the reason that now that the channel has got to a big number, a milestone number, 70,000. I can be pleased with that. I'm delighted. I think 50,000 and 60,000 came, and I kind of didn't want to know. I wasn't just wasn't interested. But this time, I think because I'm kind of back and I'm kind of enjoying it again. Today, now, and especially now that you guys are here, guys and gals are here, I can enjoy it and say and really mean it. Thank you for being a subscriber. Those of you who are, if you're not, please join the list. Very, very grateful for you getting us to this milestone, and I want to put it in perspective in a moment, but I think we're doing quite okay for time. Oh, Malcolm, thank you very much. Malcolm says, we're so pleased you're back. Thank you very much, and I'm delighted to be back. Now, so I think I gave it a big enough build up so that you know that this one is kind of important to me. I have a little bit of a favor to ask. So I really tried to make this video the best that it could possibly be, but I messed it up. I did something, I've done every possible error on YouTube over like 160 videos or so. But I did a brand new one for this one. I made it in the wrong resolution. It's a low res video, and I when I was uploading it, something did catch my eye that seemed to suggest that it was only standard definition, but I assumed that high definition would be created after a while. So anyway, long story short, I messed this one up, and I've decided, and it took a bit of getting to this point, I'll tell you why in a second. I've decided I'm going to replace it. So I need to ask a favor. Annoyingly, and mostly annoyingly, YouTube does not allow you to edit a video. I don't know if this is common knowledge, but you get one shot to put up a video. You can slice little bits out of it, but that's the extent of it. So it's really and it's almost like the online version of you only get one chance to make a first impression. So when you put a video up, it kind of, YouTube does its best to show it to all the right people and all that kind of thing. But you only get to be able to do that once, and it has a huge effect on how the video performs long term. At least we think it does. That's the current understanding. So all of this is to ask you, keep an eye out for this being published a week from today. I think that's when it's going to go out, a week from today, and I'd really appreciate it if you watched it and gave it a thumbs up, that kind of stuff, just so that it gets a little bit of a boost. If you have seen it already, I can tell you it's not exactly the same. So I made the beginning of it much shorter, and I really paid attention to the end of it, where I could see from the viewing figures that the first version was kind of a bit boring. So it gets to the point much more quickly, and it's much less boring in the second half. So recommend you watch it, and it would really help me out a lot. Okay, that's the sniveling. That's my favor, but I'm gonna repay the favor in a second. I have something nice for you coming right up. All right, moving right along. Yeah, as I said, because of all that stuff that I've kind of gone through and recovered from, so delighted to be able to put a slide on here that says that on it. I'd never in a million years thought I'd get anywhere near that, especially as some of the big boys, they seem to have... Oh, hold on. I'm realizing that I'm going to make myself a little bit better so you can see the graph. That would be helpful. Oh, yeah, just about there. All right. So, what is this? What is the... less than 40,000 there for Scrum Org. Oh, by the way, I realized I missed a few people out. So I'm going to correct that now. Agile for Humans has 17.5, so around about there. I don't know, you probably can't see my my cursor. That's a shame. I hadn't thought of that. I looked for Kanban. I don't know if anybody knows if there's a Kanban YouTube channel. Kanban University only has less than 5,000 subscribers. Amazing to me. Scrum Master in Black. If you ever find out, I'm really sorry I missed you out. You're 11.6. Couple of individuals. So Mark Sheard, 36.2. He mostly does. That was a bad miss. I should definitely have been on the list. Henrik Nyberg, a little bit of an odd one out because his channel is on all kinds of things, but the ones that are on Agile are extraordinary. So well worth finding Henrik Nyberg's channel. You'll find him playing guitar and bass and keyboards and all that kind of stuff, but there are some Agile videos in there as well, I promise. 43.7 thousand subscribers isn't too shabby either. Amazing stuff. Just resize that a bit. Agile training videos is the biggest one I've found in the Agile space, apart from not so humble brag development that pays. So, like I say, 70,000 is crazy to me, given that the Agile channels I've been able to find are quite a long way behind. By the way, if you know of an Agile focused channel that is big enough to break my heart, I suppose I would like to know. Anyone, please don't, actually, maybe if you're here live, don't tell me because you don't want to see a grown man cry. but if you're watching the replay, go ahead. In the replay, I can take it. Let's move on. Ooh. All right. So yes, thank you. That's what I was trying to say. But I have more than just a verbal thank you. So let's get to this. So here's I don't have much that I can give you, but I do have some courses. I wondered for about 3 seconds what discount I would give you, but I think it had to have a 7 in it. 7% didn't feel like enough of an expression of gratitude. Sorry, I've just been distracted by a scary red light on my camera. I think I might be about to lose a battery. If I do, I have a spare battery ready, and I'll do a quick swap and I'll be back with you. But I'm gonna carry on just for now. So yeah, strictly limited time. All of my courses 70% off. If you're watching the replay, hold on a second. I have something for you as well. So courses. My courses roughly split into 2 kinds. There's one course I have that is perfect for you if you're new to Agile. That's the one we've already talked about. Scrum versus Kanban crash course. It will tell you a little bit about Scrum and a little bit about Kanban, but what it's really trying to do is give you a proper introduction to Agile. Like, as I said, Agile through the lens of those 2 frameworks. I was so tempted to say methodology just to annoy some of you. Frameworks. Now, if you've been around for a while, and I suspect many of the people on the call have, I have things that I think will be more suited to you. We talked about estimating. The course that eventually came out of my discovering people like Woody Zuhl, Vasco Duarte, that's available for 70% off. The Scrumban Blueprint, I so wanted to talk to you in detail about the Scrumban Blueprint and about Scrumban and kind of what that has meant for the channel, because it was another thing that really influenced my thinking and where I took things. That will wait for another day, but all you need to know today is if you're interested in Scrumban, then that's got a nice little... And Christian, Christian, great, nice to see you. Yeah, I maybe should have mentioned. Actually, I'll mention that in a second. Thank you, but thank you for bringing it up. Thank you for reminding me. And I put a package together, which includes the estimating course, Beyond Story Points and Planning Poker. That's the green one just here, and it includes the blue one, which is all about Scrumban. And includes, I think this is a bonus for at least one of the other courses. But anyway, definitely get it in this package, Story Slicing Masterclass. That's available as a package, $497 minus your 70%. By my calculations, that comes out to round about $75 per course. That's got a 7 in it. It's amazing how these 7s are just popping out all over the place. So that is available to you. The code to get these is DTP, Development That Pays, 70. And this voucher, whatever it is, a code, is valid until the end of this week. Till the end of this week. So not giving a huge amount of time. But yes, yeah. To be clear, this is the full course, just as anyone would get the full course if they bought it on, or any of those courses on on any day of the week. So you get all of the bonuses, you get access to the communities, the courses, the individual courses. So that's the Scrum versus Kanban course, the estimating course, the Scrumban course. They each have their own community. You get full access to that. And you get a 30-day money back guarantee. It is a no questions asked guarantee. Just tell me you don't want it. I won't even ask why. I'll just give you your money back. Almost no one. I think I've had one person ask for their money back. Someone bought the Scrum versus Kanban crash course and said it was too basic. So said, yeah, no problem. Have your money back. Suggest you try this course instead. So yeah, I wanted to make them really easy for you to find. Hopefully you can find my web development that pays. If you Google that, it should bring you to my website. Hack the URL to put a /1 or 2 or 3 or 4. That will take you, yeah, I hope that's easy to remember as well. So /1, /2, /3 or /4 will take you to the individual packages, courses and course packages. And a reminder, again, that's the code. Now, to apply the code, I think actually, I want this to be really clear. So I'm going to share my screen for a second. Okay, this is all right. So here's one of the courses. To apply the code, scoot all the way to the bottom, way down to the bottom, and then there's a rather too subtle down arrow here. Click that, and that's where you're going to be entering DTP 70. Apply that and make sure that the discount is applied. Very, very important. Yeah. Oh, no, I've lost myself. Oh, there you are again. Great. Let me put my face back on screen. Yeah, that one. Good. So that's what I've just shown you. If you are watching the replay, and the whatever the end of this week has already passed, what was the code? Sorry, what's the date? Yes. So if it's now after March the 17th and you're watching the replay, I have a different discount code for you. It's not quite as generous, but I did want to do something for you. So DTP 35 will give you 35% off. And that code is valid until the end of this month, so the end of March. And everything you could possibly need is now up on your screen. So that's it. I didn't want that to be a big sales pitch. I just wanted it to be kind of a nice thing to do, just to just to mark the occasion in some way. So yeah, good. Someone said that the package is a no-brainer. Thank you very much for saying that. Yes, I hope that 70% off would make it a no-brainer. I was wondering if anyone would ask whether there would be a similar offer if and when we get to 100,000, when presumably I'd be forced to apply 100% discount. I think that might be something that will not happen. But anyway, yeah. So good stuff. What did I want to? Here's something that I forgot to do. While I was thinking about the old videos that I've done over the course of 7 years. Does anyone remember this fella? That turned up in a video, believe it or not. It actually. I just found out that it actually writes. Comes with a protective cover. Very strange. And does anyone remember these guys? Or similar, that I think I've turned up in videos from time to time. Actually, seeing this reminded me that I tried, I think at one time, I tried a stop motion of a Kanban board with cards moving across a Lego thing, across the various columns on a board. And I went looking for that video and I couldn't find it. But somewhere, I'm sure I've done a video with a bit of stop motion in it. Anyway, someday that will pop up again. Malcolm, you're right. The football episode. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, I should have brought my train. There was also a train set that featured in another one. What fun we have had. Douglas, thank you very much for saying that. It's really nice. Can I make that appear? Oh, I can. Douglas, thank you very much indeed. That's really nice of you to say so. It's nice. I'm glad people are enjoying the videos. That is I mean, it's been a surprise and delight to put this stuff out there, and that people are watching it and apparently liking it. It's amazing to me. So yeah, incredibly grateful. Wow, did we get through that in 45 minutes? Great. Well, I did promise that I'd get you out sharpish. I thought I'd take slightly longer than that. Oh yeah. Oh, thanks, Boris. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. You've just sparked a thought in my mind there. What was I going to say? Yeah. A quick reminder of what I was talking about right at the beginning. Maybe before some of you joined. That I'm thinking it would be nice for me to get out of the shed, and come and maybe do some training, some in-company training, or maybe not training, just a presentation, or even, as I have done on at least one occasion, work with a team. So I'm especially interested to hear from you if that's what you do. If you do in-company training, I'd love to hear from you. Kind of tips, tricks, how to get started, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's another way you can help me, if you are able to do so. I think my British standard cup of tea is now, it's basically undrinkable, but there's a cold one waiting for me in that direction. So I think with that, I will thank you very much for your time. Thanks very much for coming. Brilliant to see all kinds of names that I recognize and quite a few that I don't, which is always brilliant. Yeah, any questions or anything at all, I'm happy to stay here for that. But otherwise, like I said, want to be super duper respectful of your time. So if you need to run, please run. I have no idea. My God. I used to know a few ISO numbers, but I don't know that one, so I'm saying nothing. Christian, thanks. It's too late in my day for a brand new cup of tea. I'll be getting something that is intentionally cold. Benoit, thank you very much indeed. That's much. Okay, I think Paul, we all could benefit from knowing this. So there you are. Oh, I didn't read to the end. Thank you very much. An ISO for tea. Fantastic. Paul, you win at comments today. That is fantastic. Oh, Boris, just saw your question. Don't know, but I'll think about it. Andrew says, thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate it. Okay, you lot. Time to get on with your day. Thank you very much again. Thanks for indulging me so I could kind of enjoy that 70,000. It's been quite a big deal. So that's awesome. I suppose I should one last time just to kind of put this. If you are interested in any of those courses, they're never going to be at this price ever again. So grab it when they're hot. Like I said, for the big discount, you've got till the end of the week. For the big but not quite so big discount, you've got until the end of the month, and then those coupons both start working. So yeah, grab them while they're hot. Michael, that's really nice. Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Malcolm. Great to see you again. Yeah, come on, people, out of here. Thanks again. I suppose I could just hit the button and then that would do the trick, wouldn't it? Always hesitate to hit the button. All right, but we're going. Oh, Christian, yeah. The 100 subs, yes. I did. There's a website that tells you when you're likely to hit various milestones, and I couldn't resist taking a look. So I think I'm on track for the beginning of 2025. Yeah, a little less than 2 years from now. We'll see. We shall see. Alrighty, guys. Time to hit that button now, if I can find it. Yeah, we are out of here in 3, 2, and 1. We're out.